What is going on, everyone? Welcome to the channel. My name is Nick. I'm your host. Merry Christmas, y'all. Welcome to Grapevine, Texas. If I get this right, the Christmas capital of Texas, one of the #1 Christmas towns here in the South. Now, for this video, I want to kind of just bring you along. Every year I come down and check out Grapevine Main Street and just the town of Grapevine in general. But I want to not only show you a lot of the festivities that's going on here, but I know you guys love Bonnie and Clyde. I cover so much Bonnie and Clyde stuff on my channel. And believe it or not, there is quite a few locations here that is related to Bonnie and Clyde. So we're gonna go check those out. Some of them, actually one location I covered in the past, the others I haven't. And after this, we're also gonna go to a cemetery right down the road, whopping 2 minutes down the road in Grapevine, and visit one of the officers that died at the hands of the one and only Clyde Barrow. So I invite you to join me as of the making of this video. It's December 17th, so you guys will see this video tomorrow. I wanted to make this a little earlier, then realized, crap, Christmas is next week. So without further ado, come and join me. And happy holidays. Let's go hunt down some Bonnie and Clyde locations. Let's go. What I want to do is also, there's a couple old historic buildings here. Grapevine is a very old town. Hence, Bonnie and Clyde very frequently checked out Grapevine. So we'll go see some of their stuff today as well. First stop. I didn't want to come here when it was too dark because, yeah, you see the lights, but not much else. But anyway, a lot of people get their family photos taken right here. But I wanted to come over and check out this old cottage. So it says this cabin is original and it was lived in till the 1940s, and then it was moved here. It settled, I guess it was about 4 miles from here, it said, but they moved it here so it could kind of be on display. And wow, they actually have it decorated for Christmas. I never saw it like this, but yeah, pretty cool. We're gonna check out a couple of these buildings down the street here. Like I said, some of them are very old and historic, like this building coming up right there, but look at this. Christmas Wonderland. Crayola crayons, holy crap. Oh, I love the nutcrackers. That's really cool. This first building I wanna check out used to be the old Wallace Hotel. And it looks like not much has changed besides the fact that it's no longer a hotel, it's the Grapevine Winery. But imagine old cowboys standing here, just like that dude right there. If y'all know me and follow my channel, you know I love old historic buildings, and this is a super old theater. We actually came here to see a couple movies in the past. Every Halloween we come here to see Young Frankenstein, but they still have, they still do movies, and they also do like live performances and stuff. It's a really cool theater. Yeah, they have the doors closed, you can't see anything inside, but see, this is what they have all month. Elf, Home Alone, A Christmas Story, of course. Actually, tomorrow night, Christmas Vacation's playing. Now, if you all have seen one of my more recent videos where I was retracing the steps of Lee Harvey Oswald's, and he was captured at the Texas Theater, this theater actually looks very similar to what that looked like, so you can kind of get the feel of how these old theaters used to look back in the day. Pretty cool. Fun fact, as we make our way down, y'all know Post Malone, right? Even if you don't care for him or his music, you know who he is. You heard the name. Post Malone is from Grapevine, Texas, right here. Went to high school at Grapevine High School. And believe it or not, right here, straight ahead, if I zoom in, at Napoli's Italian Cafe, this is where he used to play gigs when he was in high school. I actually was in here a few times and talked to the bartenders, and right about in there, right in front of the window, he would set up and just do solo acoustic stuff back in the day. Fun fact. All right, the first Bonnie and Clyde location we're gonna check out is a bank that, well, we'll talk more about it, but it's a bank that Bonnie and Clyde did not rob. but it's unclear. All I can find online is friends of Bonnie and Clyde. It doesn't say if it was members of the Barrow gang, but friends of Bonnie and Clyde robbed this bank right behind me, and we're gonna go check it out now. All right, this building right here, this used to be the home bank in Grapevine. December 1932, like I said, 2 of Bonnie and Clyde's friends robbed the Grapevine home bank. Long story short, the robbers held up the bank at gunpoint, locked the bank officials in the vault, and escaped with $2,500. And that was back in 32. So imagine how much $2,500 would have been today. I have no idea, but a lot of money. And then thankfully, not so much for the robbers, but thankfully the same day, one of the robbers was caught with the money, but it said only one. And here's the bank today. Today it's the Bermuda Gold and Silver shop, but it says 1900 at top. And what happened, the bank went into voluntary liquidation in 1933. And like I said, it's now a gold and silver shop. Now, legend has it that Bonnie and Clyde did not want to rob this bank because supposedly they had friends in Grapevine who actually had money in here, and they did not want to rob it. But like I said, their friends didn't care. They went ahead and robbed it anyway. But it's kind of interesting to think. I know Bonnie grew up not far from here, like in North Texas. Clyde grew up in West Dallas. But anyway, they spent a lot of time here in Grapevine. And as you can see, I'm kind of like juggling around. It's so packed right now. People get like weird if I get them on video. So I try to avoid anybody that I could. So you'll probably see me kind of doing this today, going back and forth. But anyway, I'd like to go check out the inside of the bank. Let's go. Oh, look at this. They have right in here, they have an old newspaper. Robert tricks farmers into helping an escape. Yeah, and this is what the bank used to look like. Wow. So there's the original Grapevine Home Bank sign. There's a cashier's box straight ahead. But they said that's not original, but that's kind of what it looked like. The 4 is original, they said. So that's the original 4. Some old photos. If y'all want to pause and try and read this at all, feel free. It's a pretty cool story. Yep, and this would have been it. Bonnie and Clyde's friends, which they did confirm it was members of the Barrow gang. I don't know exactly who. I'm sure you can find it online. I couldn't find who exactly came in here and robbed it. Just said Bonnie and Clyde's friends, but it was the Barrow gang, and Bonnie and Clyde declined. The original 4. How cool is that? It still says bank on the door too. And the original doors. Here's one more shot of the old bank. Barrow gang members went right through the door and ran out with $2,500 back then. You know, I passed this spot 100 times and I never knew. Wow, it was so cool. It was so nice of those 2 women. They actually talked to me a little bit, and they said, yeah, this was the bank, and it was confirmed the Barrow gang robbed it. And we were talking about Bonnie and Clyde locations around Dallas and that, and and the one woman said, have you ever seen The Highwaymen? It's a movie with Kevin Costner, Woody Harrelson. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's such a good movie. But I was like, yeah, I watched it 8 times. Oh man. Anyway, all right. Next Bonnie and Clyde locations. All right, next spot. Not directly related to Bonnie and Clyde, but this is an original jail cell that they still have on display here. And really not much to see, as you can see, even though there's a little Frosty the Snowman down there. But yeah, this is I was just talking to some folks, and they thought this was a replica, and I said, no, this is a legit old jail cell. And actually right over here on this plaque, they have something about Bonnie and Clyde, which will take us to our next location. This is really cool. Look at this. Clyde Coleman, the town constable in the 1920s, probably locked up a few troublemakers in the calaboose. I guess it was called the calaboose, I don't know, when it was located on Barn Street near here. So I guess this was another thing, just like the log cabin in the beginning of our video, that was moved to Grapevine Main Street. Yep, an original. But anyway, the reason I wanted to come over here, somewhere up here, here we go. A more tragic moment occurred in 1934 when two Texas motorcycle patrolmen, E.B. Wheeler and H.D. Murphy, were shot and killed on Easter Sunday by Clyde Barrow and Bonnie Parker on Old Highway 114, just west of Grapevine in present-day Southlake. The patrolmen's bodies were brought to the Lucas Funeral Home on Main Street, which we'll go check out next, where nearly the entire town turned out to pay tribute to the fallen lawmen. Speculation was rampant as to the whereabouts of the two notorious gangsters. Now, if you have seen my Bonnie and Clyde series, it's a 3-part series. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. But if you have, you'll know I stopped here as well in one of the parts of that video. It's basically the story of what I just read about Easter Sunday. Ed Wheeler and H.D. Murphy pulled over to a car that was on the side of the highway down the street in Grapevine, present-day Southlake, to see if motorists needed help. Long story short, when they approached, one of the members of the Clyde Barrow gang, not sure, the highwaymen depicts it as Bonnie. Bonnie shot the cops. Nobody really knows for sure. But the funeral home where the two officers, Ed Wheeler and H.D. Murphy, their funeral happened right over there, so we're going to go check that out next. As we're approaching, keeping in mind this is a somewhat of a Christmas video, if you want to call it that. This absolutely looks beautiful at night. But right here, current day J.E. Faust and Son Funeral Home. I don't think it was called that back then, but this is where Ed Wheeler and H.D. Murphy, the two patrolmen who were killed by Bonnie and Clyde, this is where their funeral was held. Look how old this place looks. I actually, in Dallas, in that Bonnie and Clyde series, I did go to the funeral home where Clyde's funeral was held. It basically almost looks like this. Pretty close. Unfortunately, the funeral home where Bonnie's funeral was held at was no longer here. That's torn down, is now a highway, so there's no reason to go there. Now, I covered the Ed Wheeler H.D. Murphy story a few times, basically because it's so close to where I live. Like I said, that happened in present-day Southlake. I was thinking, though, if you guys want me, I know you love the Bonnie and Clyde stuff, if you guys want me to go and make a video on its own and retrace that day, Easter Sunday, as well as visit the officers' grave sites, let me know. But you can imagine this is where the funeral was held. It sounded almost like the entire town turned out for their service. And at the same time, the hunt was on for Bonnie and Clyde. Pretty cool. And the manger. Have to get this in since this is a Christmas special. I don't know if I should call it a Bonnie and Clyde Christmas special. That'd be kind of weird. But a further away shot of the funeral home. All right, one more location I want to show you down here, and then we will go get to our last spot. This town is absolutely hopping the entire month of December, as you can imagine why. Actually, since I am a local to this area, I try to avoid this area as much as possible, but usually I come down and check out the Christmas lights. Anyway, I like to show this. This is a very old hearse, and it's original. And it just is on display in here. J.E. Faust and Son Funeral Directors. Wow, look at these wheels. Obviously no longer in use. Oh my gosh, I never noticed this before. Look at that casket down below. Wow. These are really sad. These are original too. Early 1900 era. Here's another one. Early day child's coffin. If we make our way around this way, some early day embalming kit stuff. Oh, and a bag too. Wow. Yeah. That's something. All right, at this point, we basically have seen everything we can Bonnie and Clyde related here on Grapevine Main Street. Now, I want to go down the road to Grapevine Cemetery. The reason why I want to go there is because there's an officer who's buried there who died at the hands of Clyde Barrow. That's confirmed. Have you ever heard of the Bonnie and Clyde Dallas shooting house? Well, it's a famous house. I've been to that location where an officer by the name of Malcolm S. Davis died from a shotgun blast by Clyde Barrow. So I've never seen his grave before. He's a couple minutes down the road. Let's get out of this crazy town. I don't like being in crowded places. It's just how I am, but that's maybe why I love doing cemetery videos. All right, let's go to one of my favorite places. I know I'm weird, but let's do it. Heading to the cemetery. And just like that, made it to our final location of this video. And this is what I'm talking about. This is why I just love filming in cemeteries, because, like, I mean, y'all pretty much saw how crazy Grapevine Main Street is right now, and literally I'm the only one in this entire cemetery, so I love it. Anyway, alrighty. The reason we are here is to see and pay our respects the gravesite of Malcolm S. Davis, who was a police officer who died at the hands of Clyde Barrow from a shotgun blast in Dallas. I've never seen his grave before. For as close as I am to the cemetery, I've never been here, but it's coming in Grapevine Historic Cemetery. Looks very old. So I say this sometimes, but I get a lot of comments, especially on my big Bonnie and Clyde video where I went to see their death sites. Get a lot of comments from people who say, like, oh, you know, you only talk about Bonnie and Clyde, you never talk about the officers, and you're glorifying Bonnie and Clyde. Well, folks, no, I'm not. I enjoy dark history. They're part of American history, that's for sure. And when I can, I do try and visit the grave sites of the officers or people who have died at the hands of Bonnie and Clyde. So with that being said, let's go pay Malcolm Davis a visit. I always like to say a big shout out and thanks to findagrave.com, because if it wasn't for them, I would be searching the cemetery for days. But thanks to them, I found his gravesite already. Here's the main entrance as we came in, and he's literally right here. Did not have to search much at all. Looks like this entire thing right here is the Davis family plot. And if we go closer, Malcolm S. Davis, 1881 to 1933, a martyr to his duty. Wow, and he's buried 6 feet below us. And yeah, it looks like Davis. Now, I did read he was born in Tennessee, but looks like the family's here, so I'm guessing they moved and made their way to Grapevine, but they're all right here. If my math is correct, he died at 52 years old. And 6 feet below us. Anyone who, when I visit these grave sites, anyone who I find, you know, deserving, if that's the term for it, I find deserving, I just like to give a little tap, because he's 6 feet below us, resting peacefully right here. Now, I was going to tell you the story of what happened to Malcolm Davis here, but I thought it would be better to show you the clip from one of my Bonnie and Clyde series. I think it's episode 2, where I go to the house where he was killed, and I'll let my past self discuss what happened. So let's go back half a year or so to Dallas, Texas. This one has an interesting story. So we are standing at the driveway entrance of the old Lily McBride house, which for most people would be known as the Bonnie and Clyde Dallas shooting house, which once stood right here, and it's not anymore. We're going to talk about it. So where this used to be, this is another location, just like the Barrow filling station that was torn down 2 years ago. This is another one that was literally torn down like 2 years ago. So Lily McBride used to live here. She grew up with Clyde. She was actually the sister of Ray Hamilton, who was one of the famous Bonnie and Clyde gang members. Pretty much on January 6, 1933, 6 police officers were waiting here for someone else. By dumb chance, Clyde actually showed up here with a shotgun to go see Lily, because like I said, they knew her. Clyde entered the house, and Lily's sister started screaming because she knew what was going to happen. She started screaming because her kids were in the house. As soon as Clyde heard the screaming, he started shooting inside the house, literally right here, and he actually killed one officer by the name of Davis, who was 51 years old. And welcome back. And here he is, laying to rest today. Obviously very sad. Like I said, I tried to visit other officers who were killed at the hands of Bonnie and Clyde when we were in Joplin. That video is doing pretty well right now, actually. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. But I visit the Bonnie and Clyde garage apartment where the famous Joplin shootout happened. And 2 officers died there. I did, at the end of that video, go visit a gravesite of one of the officers, Harriman, who passed away. But yeah, I didn't, in my Bonnie and Clyde series, I did not go and check out Malcolm's grave after, so I wanted to come here and pay my respects, as well as the entire Davis family. Another soul lost at the hands of the Barrow gang. Well, everyone, that is going to wrap it up for this, if you want to call it, I don't even know what I'm going to call it, Christmas edition Bonnie and Clyde weird locations video. I know I'm weird. I didn't think you guys would like me just going and showing you Christmas lights in Grapevine. Even though I love to see it, you know, it wouldn't be as good on a video. So I figured, why not bring y'all along to see some Bonnie and Clyde locations and also get away from the crowd, all the Christmas craziness, and come to a nice, quiet, beautiful cemetery here, literally 3 minutes down the road. So if you see this video and maybe you're from the area, Malcolm's gravesite is literally 3 minutes down the road from Main Street, Grapevine. If you enjoy this stuff, come out and pay him a visit, and respects to a fallen officer. Anyway, if you enjoy this content, I have an entire Bonnie and Clyde playlist. Please go check out. I hope you all have a Merry Christmas. This video is coming out tomorrow. And with that being said, like, subscribe if you haven't, leave a comment. Let me know what you think of this type of content. Just kind of hanging out with me today, going through Grapevine. And anyway, I'll see y'all soon on the next video. Take care.